Morning, Steve Green in Chicago with the morning grain comments. Overnight prices are higher. I think initially yesterday we saw some European models stretching out through June, July, and August that showed continued dry and warm weather for much of the upper Midwest, the Northern Plains, and the Pacific Northwest. Also, short-term maps are putting a little bit of rain in Canada and North Dakota. The rains will probably be mostly in that southeast Saskatchewan, southwest Manitoba area, 4/10 to maybe as much inch and a half. There are parts of North Dakota that could get rains, 4 counties in the northwest corner, leaving the eastern and central parts of North Dakota and South Dakota dry. Also in this short-term forecast of 7 days, Minnesota, Iowa, South Dakota, and maybe Nebraska dry out, and maybe even Missouri. So that would mean that we would put some stress on the crop, and most people look for today's crop ratings for corn to drop 1 percentage point to 75 versus 76 last week. We also, from a weather standpoint, see dry conditions in the spring wheat areas of Russia, and we watch them pretty closely late next week. Warm and windy conditions for parts of the spring wheat and winter wheat areas and corn and bean areas. This Shukave is something that we need to watch pretty closely. Brazil is still mostly dry. Argentina winter wheat areas are dry for planting. Eastern part of China is dry, but could see some rains, which would kind of narrow the area that's dry. This week we get the USDA numbers. Most people look for them to lower the Brazil corn crop, which could raise demand for U.S. corn and could drop the carryouts from the 1257 they're using now in old crop and 1505 to 1502 from next year. Not expecting much change in the soybean S&Ds, and from a wheat standpoint, they could raise the winter wheat crop, but I think that that could be offset by a lower spring wheat crop. On Friday, Informa said that the final spring wheat crop could be 65 million bushels below their 505 estimate, and last year's spring wheat crop was 530. So we would expect some higher prices in the grains. We'll be watching pretty closely what the energy market does, watching outside influences like on inflation, stimulus packages, and impact it might have on the dollar. As always, these are my thoughts and not those of ADM Investor Services. Have a safe and profitable trading day.